So, it's finished, and I've just put a picture up. You've seen that. So, but what an absolute bizarre creature this is, and that's actually how I've titled it when I've put it on many forums across Facebook. But look, end of the day, the kit itself was a 30 quid kit. One of the lads down at the club, Danny, Mark, is there anybody that wants a Revell 1 in 32 Phantom? And it was like, so, well, as soon as he said that, is there anybody that wants a Revell? I've got certain markers in my head. Is there anybody that wants to buy? Obviously, I bought it, right? Is there anybody that wants to buy a Revell? Ooh, 1 in 32. Ooh, Phantom. Ooh, you know, for me personally, and I've been talking to Paul about it tonight. For me personally, you know, Revell kits. I love Revell kits. I can do a Revell kit. 1 in 32. I'm running out of space. But 1 in 32, ooh. Phantom. Phantom for me is sort of like 1 or 2 pegs down from my beloved Tornado. You know. Like I said, me and Paul have been chatting about it tonight, and you go, in your aircraft hangar, what have you got to have? You know, you've got to have, let's start on old school. You've got to have a Spitfire, haven't you? You've got to have built a Spitfire. You've got to have that in your hangar. And possibly an Hurricane, because of the old romantic sort of thing that, you know, Spitfire was the baby of World War II, but actually it was the Hurricane that won the war. You've got to have a Lancaster. You've got to have Tornado, F-15, F-14, F-16, F4, A-10, Harrier. Let me have a look round. Jaguar. Got to have them. Stoker, Eurofighter. And some helicopters and all that sort. There's certain stuff that you've got to have in your hangar. So I have done a Tamiya 1 in 32 F4J. I did that a couple of years since. And again, talking to Paul, and I said, when I do my post-build video, I've got to sort of like say to myself, you know, I can't get drawn into comparing the two, because one's a J and this is an F. This is my J. Nice, isn't it? I'll leave it up. And this is an F, which is the longer snouted version. But, so I've got to say, I've got to not compare the two, because one was 30 quid, one was 130 quid. You know, I mean, so anyway, I'm starting to tidy up now, because obviously my bench has been full of sprues and shit for the last sort of 3 weeks. Can you hear that? I'm sat on a cushion, because my leather chair, it's because of my bony ass. It hurts, you know. When I go to bed at about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I put my legs out, because I'm 6'4", me, you know, 6'4". When I get laid in bed and I push my legs out of my ass, it's chuffing killing. Anyway, so that's it. Look, it's going to be back to front for you. It's a Revell F4-F Phantom 2 Wild Horse. Now, the date on that is actually 2002, which means it's 20-year-old. So I gets the kit off Danny, and I paid him 30 bar for it, and I thought, you know, Revell, 1 in 32, Phantom, go on then. And brought it home, and the people that know me, people that have watched my videos, you know, my humongous stash of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kits. A Fraser. 5 kits, and obviously it came to the top of the pile, so I thought, you know, let's crack on. Typical of Revell, and I said this all the time, don't I? Let me just have a look here. So, colour N, for Nigel, 70% of this and 30% of that. S, I mean, just God above. Hey, I'm not kidding. Right, S, colour S, is 98%, and I'm not kidding, Lufthansa yellow, right, and 2% fiery red. I mean, what's that all about? So typical of Revell, you get that really annoying call out. Okay, and I've mixed my book up now. Anyway, so page 7, and the pages, you know, because it's an old kit, they're like really old and sort of yellowish and one thing and another. But I've got to, let's go back, I've got to try to coordinate those colours into MRPs, because I know that MRP paint on this particular bird, because actually, you know what, the detail on it, on the body itself, it weren't too bad, and nice panel lines. I thought that'll take a wash. As long as I can, I'm going to black base it, obviously, and I'm going to start putting pictures up of all the work that I did. I'm going to black base it and model it, and then once I start going over it with my MRP, it's really going to sort of stand out a little bit. Instructions, you're starting office with seats, bang, bang. Okay, and now the were, kind of a word is that? The war, let's go back to Yorkshire. There were some instrument panel decals, but they were naff. Now, let's rewind. Before I actually started the kit, obviously I looked at the decal pack, and the Wild Horse scheme, I'll put a picture up, the Wild Horse scheme, it was actually that drew me to it, you know, and I looked at that and I thought, by the Christ, that looks pretty tasty, does that? Let's hope that decal's something like, nah, it weren't. But actually then, let's fast forward 3 weeks, after I've painted it in all this sort of like light sea grey, medium sea grey, dark sea grey, and an olive drab, 4 colour camo. And then you go on to decaling, so I'm fast forwarding, and it's like, right, here we go. And I know for a fact that these decals are going to break up. They're 20-year-old, they're crusty, they're absolutely bollocks. No, they weren't, they were absolutely spot on. I had an issue with one of the slime lights down the spine, down the tail picture, and that was the only one that broke. And now I'm starting to think, maybe if I'd have just sort of like trusted the decals. However, that's a big if, because if I'd have painted this Phantom in those colours and those decals had have broke up, number 1, can you get replacements? Number 2, is that Mr. Revell? We finished building that, mate, in 2002. What's all this about? It's me on phone. We finished building that in 2002. I'm afraid, do you know what I mean? And you're sort of like saying, right, well, if I do it in this blue and red, and these decals are knackered, what am I going to do? And I didn't want to risk it, especially when I knew that I got spare 1 in 32 Luftwaffe decals, and I could sort of like do a bit of bodging, do you know what I mean? We're going backwards and forwards here, aren't we? Number 1, build your seats. Number 2, stick your office together, and your rudder stick and your joystick and all that sort of stuff. Number 3 and 4, that's that. 5, instrument panel. And again, I've said in my previous videos, I hate dotting and dabbing, but the choice was dot and dab or these really naff decals. Guess what I did? Dot and dabbed, which I hate. 7, whether you want to put your radar open, you know, your nose open. Now, I have done Tornado with nose open, and as much of a feature as it is, and you know me, and I say if it's in the box, it's going on, but I am swaying more and more away from doing nose open, because 9 times out of 10 the hinge pin is usually a bit suspect, and unless you've got it in a specific diorama, your aircraft with nose open, it doesn't sing to me, all right? And you know my ethos, the kit itself has got to, whoa, it's really got to sing to me for me to do it. And the radar on view option is just not pulling me in, okay? So it was nose closed. Now, there's no indication of sticking any weight in here, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to chance it. And it's not a tail sitter. Thank God for that. Section 11, building your front undercarriage housing. Section 12, sticking it on. 13 is fan blades. 14 fuselage halves together. 15 tops at wings to bottom of wings. 16 rear stabilizers. Top at tail on. 17 is top of that clamshell sort of fuselage that you've got going off, sticking that on your wings. Now, problem number one. It took a little bit of filler because obviously you've got a like that, haven't you? Right, and that's got to sit on a flat plate, and that's going to leave you sort of two grooves. And I did glue it into one side, and as much as I tried to splay it out, there was a gap down one side. Now, so from that you'd say, well, you know, if you've got a millimetre gap on this side, splay it out and make it half and half. Obviously, I did that. I'm not chuffing stupid. But no matter how much I tried to splay it out, I just couldn't get it to sit correctly. So I did end up having to fill that. Section 18 front, your cockpit and all that sort of front end, stick that in. And that was pretty decent fit. 19 is your intake doors. 20 is the cowling over that. 21 and 22 is the reverse side. 23 slats. 24 is your infamous up-angled wing edges. 25, 26 other side. 27 putting your burners in. 28 is a rester hook. And then you're onto undercarriage. So 29 through is all sort of undercarriage and absolute doddle, mate. Absolute doddle. Literally two halves. Brake lines were already on. There were no messing about. Little sanding stick. I've got one of them tiny little flory sanding sticks. I think it's dead now. It's like a 10 million grit because there's no sort of coarseness on it whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? But it took it off. 36, 7, 8, 9, 40, 41, 2, 3. So all from 36 to 43 is all about air brakes underneath those sort of doors that have got the two big latches on. Wheels, undercarriage, that sort of stuff. 44 little antennas on front. 45 them antennas on back. 46 again, it's got them sort of like things under wings. And I said to you last time I made a video where I can't remember what, I know Red Adder had got them on. I couldn't remember what they call them, but it's got some of them on. 47 you're onto armament. So AMRAAMs, I'll get back to that. 49, what do you want to put on it? 50 pylons, 51, 52 pylons, 53 AIM-9s, 54 attaching them to pylon, 55, 6 and 7 is fuel tank, 58 is sticking it all on, 59 is putting your pylons on, 60 is glass work, and 62 is ladder. Because you do get a ladder in this kit. But if you look at the pictures that I've been putting up, I ain't got no ladder on. And that's because I've gone for cockpit closed. As far as the paint options were concerned then, so you got, now then, my mate Marky Bridge, he knows how to pronounce this and I ain't got a clue. Jagerschwader, I think it is. Mark, tell me what it is, mate. Because I'm sure you will. And that's the 35th anniversary of Unit 30 of the unit. JG72, 31st of August 1996. But again, that colour scheme, I just didn't want to risk it. And then you got another one, which was now, again, when I Googled this, I typed all this into Google. McDonnell Douglas F4-F Phantom 2. Is it Jagerschwader? JG74 Moulders. Decimanu Sardinian 1988. And Google went, what? I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Right? You know, obviously, yeah, seriously, what? What? And I'm like, yeah, well, I've typed it in. And it's not me to do about that. I don't know, I don't clue what you're talking about. And then I got another one from same squadron, but 1987. So 3 squadrons to choose from: the Wild Horse, the 88 or the 87. Now, the 87 is actually a splinter camo, and the 88 version is a wavy line camo, 4 camo patterns. So that's the one that I went for. Do you know what? This cushion's doing absolutely nothing for my ass at all. That's the one that I went for. And well, I mean, it's sort of like olive drab, light gold, medium sea, dark sea, light sea, Jesus Christ. And it's such a bizarre thing. Now, as it turns out, it was actually all right. It does look the part, but that's because I did it with MRP. And MRP, as you know, is like, but will he ever shut up about that paint? I'm sick of hearing about it. Now then, I missed a step, didn't I? Let's go back. All right, so the AMRAAMs. The AMRAAMs, you obviously get 4. Now, underneath the fuselage on a Phantom, there's 4 recesses. And obviously, that's where them 4 go. Except the back recesses, the missiles fit in snug as a bug. But the front ones, the missile were like, let me have a think, maybe 4 or 5 mil too long. And I posted it onto Facebook and people are saying, are you sure? Like, yeah, of course I'm sure. No, I'm knowing. Right. Is it maybe the recess is, maybe it goes back a little bit further. No, mate, I've got it in front of me. I know what I'm doing. And when you get a curveball like that thrown at you, it's like, what on earth is going off? Well, it's quite simple. Missile were too long. I'm still bunged up. Can you tell? Missile were too long. It's as simple as that. All right. How long have I been going? 18 minutes. Thanks for staying with me. Wait while I see what I'm building next. Right, so let's cut to chase. And I can't compare it with Tamiya kit, be told. Right. Seats, sound. Office, sound. If the decal pack had been all right, it'd have had decals in it. Okay, no drama. Let's start at front. Nose, no drama. Front undercarriage, door, easy. Intakes, easy. Fit underneath, because you know obviously they'll come down side. Fit underneath, up to now, you know, we're doing sort of like 9 out of 10. The fit underneath, 8 out of 10. Needed some filler. The 2 fuselage sides, 8.5, 9 out of 10. Because, again, bit of filler. You know, put your masking tape down, put your bit of filler in. Don't go at it like a bull in a china shop, you know, ragging its ass off. Nice and steady with your sanding stick. That'll be all right. Tail, fine. Stabilizers, fine. Heat shield, fine. I'm saying that. Do you hear that now? I'm smiling. I'm saying that because, again, Tamiya one, it's a single unit. Whereas on this one, obviously, we're moulding it. Wing halves, fine, apart from that little bit of filler down that other side. The wing, the upward facing wing, all right, because obviously the plastic is sort of, it's cut at that angle. So that it does go in. Slats, fine. Armament, fuel tanks, fine. Undercarriage, fine. Fine. Okay, so, say this. Would I build it again? Let's go. Let's go. Would I build it again? No. Why? Well, it's an F4-F. Looks like a Phantom, smells like a Phantom. I love saying that. But it's an F4-F, which is the longer nose version. And I'm not a fan. I've got to have that. When I'm talking earlier and saying you've got to have a Phantom in your sort of aircraft hangar, yeah, but not particularly this one. But don't let that detract away from the actual quality of this 20-year-old kit. Would I build it again? No, because I've built it now. Cupboards, cabinets full of tornadoes. Why have I built that many? Because I love that aircraft. I love it. But I really, really do like a Phantom. But I won't build it again. I won't build this one. Would I build that F4J, the Tamiya one? Would I build that again? All day long. Oh, yeah. That's a dream kit. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about this kit. Would I build it again? No, because I've built one. Could I correct the kit? Apart from that, do you know what? The only actual build issue on it was that Mmmmmm missile. That was the only build issue that was on there. Everything else fit all right enough. A little bit of filler, a little bit of sanding. It's what you expect. If you don't want to do that, go and buy Lego. You've got to be prepared to put a little bit of work in, haven't you? Cans, fine. Arrestor hook, fine. Armament, fine. Body, fine. All fine. Just that Mmmmmm, it was just too long. It's as simple as that. So could I correct the kit? Yeah, just make that missile the right length. Because is it the missile that's too long? Or is it the recess that's too short? Well, you get 4 in the kit. And at the back, they fit. But at the front, they don't. So actually, that means that it's the recess that's not long enough. Okay. And I've been chucking pictures up while I've been nattering away to you. What's up next? I keep looking over here because I've got a JU-52, which is Junkers JU-52 transport aircraft. And the reason that I've got that, even though, can you remember when I was building Lancaster and I said, not a big World War II fan? But this is slightly different. The reason that I've got that particular kit is because Gaza down at Coastal Kits has made me a base for it to sit on. Because we love Gaz and he makes bespoke, nice pieces for us. And it's more to do with actual the film that I associate this aircraft with, which is Where Eagles Dare with Clint Eastwood. So I've had a base made. I'm going to have a look, see if I can find it. Yeah. So I've had that made. It's typical of Gaz. It's in his usual extremely hard wearing plastics that he does it in. I know it's going to be back to front. Where Eagles Dare and broadsword calling Danny Boy. Bit of a flag, bit of red to break it up, 2 faces, and I've had that made. Okay. And that's going to sit on that. And I'm going to do it in the snow camo as well. White with the sort of like spidery web effect, black lines on it. Black or dark sea grey or whatever they are. So that's the Phantom. If you've got it in your stash, and you're fancying a go at that Wild Horse version, somebody make it, somebody do it, and have a go with them decals. But don't blame me if they break up, obviously. No responsibility taken. And obviously that's what's up next. Job done. Couple of weeks then down at club, quick shout for club. Couple of weeks time we're doing our 24-hour build in aid of Models for Heroes. We've got that coming up. and then the week after it's normal club as usual. That just about wraps it up. How long have I been going? Shortest video ever. 23, 25, 26 minutes. My eyesight's getting really, really bad. Okay. Busy day tomorrow as is. And that'll just about do. Everything's still really crap in the world. So keep building some models. And it's not me farting, right, that you can hear. It's this. I've got a blow-up cushion on my leather chair. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, the bee that we're in last week, found it next day, it were dead. I'm not kidding. Felt like I'd lost a pet. See you later.